Alright guys, so this is going to be part 2 of my Coraline theories. If you haven't seen my first video, I'd really recommend you to watch it because then you're going to be really lost when trying to see this video. So watch that one first. But that being said, last video was really just the preparation for this video. This video really has the meat of this theory. So stay tuned if you want to find out what happens to Coraline.
Who are you?
You probably think this world is a dream come true.
Don't remember our names, but I remember my true mommy.
But you're wrong.
Don't you only make wings for the dead ones?
Just looking ahead, dear. It's supposed to be so deep. If you fell to the bottom and looked up, you'd see sky full of stars in the middle of the day.
They're not coming back, are they? Mom, Dad.
But then, we had the accident.
It wasn't my fault you hit that truck.
I never said it was.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
So sharp, you.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Soon you'll see things always.
Alright, so we're gonna do shoutouts now. I have decided to limit my shoutouts to 10 per video because we just want to get into the video as fast as possible, but I really do want to thank y'all still individually. And nope, I did not follow my instructions for this video. Instead of 10, I have 14, but anyways, we have Angel_Arts, Ariela Nicole Molina Cami, Rena Castro, Empty Void, Mustache Cash, Sparowski, Manny, Strawberry Kogacha, Dab Studios, Leopard Gecko_Lover, Lucy Pearson, Just Edits, hashtag Stop Animal Testing, Anya's Adventures, XX, Avocado, Annie, Avocado XX. Thank you all so much. If I didn't give you a shout out in this video and you asked for one last video, just comment again for a chance to get a shout out the next video.
Thou art alive. Thou art still living.
Just to recap the last video that I made on this theory, we talked about Vincent van Gogh's life, miserable life.
A few months of sanity, followed by weeks or even months of mental illness, hallucinations, terror, paranoia.
And how his life was always surrounded by death somehow.
Each attack brought attempts at suicide. Vincent swallowed turpentine, handfuls of dirt, even toxic paints.
We also talked about the Starry Night and how it came to be and how it sort of relates to death, especially with the cypress tree. Cypress tree equals death in a lot of places. And we talked about how death is present in both Vincent van Gogh's life but also in Coraline.
Don't you only make wings for the dead ones?
Just looking ahead, dear.
And since the director Henry Selick took a lot of inspiration from Vincent van Gogh in his visuals of his movie, perhaps Vincent van Gogh in this movie is somewhat meaningful. Coraline and Vincent van Gogh's life is just way too similar to ignore. But what does this mean? What does Vincent van Gogh references in this movie of Coraline mean to the overall story? Let's find out.
Vincent turned the gun toward himself and pulled the trigger.
Alright, so the biggest reference obviously is the Starry Night, but are there any others? Yes, I would argue that they are. For example, when Coraline first walks into the other world and we see the other mother, aka the Beldam, there is a crescent moon that we can see through the window. And of course, it is night. Maybe a reference to the Starry Night. We also see towards the end of the movie when Coraline is trying to get rid of the key that there are blossom trees all over, which is another one of Vincent van Gogh's paintings, which also may correlate with death. As I said, Coraline is filled with death, and almond blossoms, they live a very short life compared to other trees, even shorter than our lives, around 25 to 30 years, which could be referencing to someone else living a very short life in this movie. And in the middle of the movie, when Coraline is placed on this other side of this mirror by the Beldam, we see 3 ghost children laying on a bed. A bed similar to the bed that Vincent van Gogh had whenever he was in the mental health hospital.
Vincent swallowed turpentine, handfuls of dirt, even toxic paints.
But by far, the biggest references to Vincent van Gogh in this movie are all the swirls, all the stars, and the use of the color blue. It's everywhere in this movie. So I was beginning to think, is Coraline stuck in a Vincent van Gogh painting?
The surroundings here begin to weigh on me more than I can say. I need air.
They're not coming back, are
I
they?
feel overwhelmed with boredom and grief.
Who are you?
I am at the end of my patience.
Thou art
I can't
alive.
stand it anymore. I must make a change, even a desperate one. Vincent.
Every piece of evidence that I have gathered thus far seemed to be taking me to a direction where she was stuck in a Vincent van Gogh painting. But then I found this.
Here. Draw a picture or something.
She herself drew these swirls on a piece of paper in a deleted scene from the movie. And now I'm beginning to wonder, maybe Coraline created this world. This is all her imagination. And she took inspiration from Vincent van Gogh. And that's why the color of her hair is blue. That's why she dyed it blue. It's her favorite color because of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. Think about it. Before she even went into the other world, she already had a stuffed toy with a button for an eye. So this is already fresh in her memory. The Beldam wasn't the original creator of dolls with buttons, so it would make sense that she would create another world where everything had buttons for eye. Another piece of evidence that I gathered from the movie that would prove this theory is that whenever she obtains all of the eyes, aka the souls of the dead children, the world starts to crumble and it starts to fall apart, almost like paper. Almost as if she drew this world. These swirls that she drew on this paper appear in all parts of the movie, even when she's not in the other world. Is it all her imagination?
Coraline, you only dreamed you ate all that chicken.
As we know from my last video, Vincent van Gogh said this about the Starry Night.
We take death to go to a star.
So this made me wonder even more. What does this mean for the movie?
We take death to go to a star.
Is Coraline taking death to go to a star? Do stars in this movie signify death? Is that why they're everywhere here? And yet another deleted scene of this movie, it's almost like if she's walking into the afterlife. And that's why there are angels there. This movie seems so much like if it were a metaphor for her going into the afterlife. It makes so much sense. How does she die, I hear you asking? Well, we also have this line.
But then, we had the accident.
Perhaps in this car accident, her parents died instantly. And that's why she has this other line later in the movie.
They're not coming back, are they? Mom and Dad.
Her parents died instantly, and she perhaps fell into some sort of coma where she's in between life and death. And the snow globe, by the way, usually represents a perfect world. And towards the end of the movie, when it shatters, her perfect world shattered. It's no longer there. Her life is gone. And she chose to die. Or maybe she chose to live, as we do hear the ghost children say.
Thou art alive. Thou art still living.
That's up to you to decide. Do you believe that Coraline ended up passing away or chose to live? Let me know in the comments below.
For you, our little doll. Buttons for eyes, huh? Coraline, you only dreamed you ate all that chicken.
Surprised she let you move in. My grandma, she owns the Pink Palace. Won't rent to people with kids.
What do you mean?
No way! You're not sewing buttons in my eyes!
Do not go through little door.